Hi Flute friends, my name is Miss Emily and I'm very, very good friends with Miss Jackie and Miss Ana Paola, who you've had your last couple videos with. But today, we're actually going to be doing a few exercises to work on our note reading. Because yes, it's really important that we can play our flute, but it's also really important that we know our rhythms and that we can learn the notes on the page. So for this about 5-minute exercise, go ahead and put your flutes down in a safe space. And we're gonna do some exercises together. Okay, now it's really important for you to know how to read music on your own because maybe when you're at home right now, you don't have a family member, a friend, or maybe a grandparent or an uncle to help you out with your note reading. So you have to find ways to use your own resources. So let's do a quick review before we get into some notes. First thing, what are these 5 lines called? It starts with an S. Good. All together, they're called a staff. S-T-A-F-F. Now, on the left-hand side of the staff, what is this really cool swirly thing? What does it mean? What is it called? Good. It's called a treble clef. Now, the treble clef simply means it's the higher notes that are being played. It's often the right hand on a piano. But there's a secret trick that we can use that helps us remember treble clef. You see how it swirls around, but then the swirl ends up right here, right on that line, which is the line G. So it's called a treble clef, but it's also called a G clef. Now, in a staff, how many lines are there? 5. Good. And how many spaces are there? 4. Good. So a staff always has 5 lines and 4 spaces, even if you're in treble clef or you're in bass clef, or if you're in called what's alto or tenor clef, but you always have 5 lines and you always have 4 spaces. Now, for us flute players, we're gonna end up having some notes that are above, so we're just gonna add extra lines, but this is always the main component of music. Okay, so for our line notes, I'm gonna draw, and if you have a piece of paper at home, why don't you press pause right now and go grab it, okay? So, because with our paper, what I'd like you to do is draw out your own staff and treble clef. Now, anytime you want to, just press pause so you can follow my instructions and I'll be here waiting. So, once you've drawn this, the treble clef might take a little practice too. I want you to draw a note on each line. So it'll look like that. It's 5 notes on our 5 main lines. Now, there's lots of funny phrases you can use to learn this, or what you can do if you're already really good at your scales, you can just memorize your notes. But the funny sentence I like to use to remember is every good burger, like a hamburger, deserves fries, because we always want fries on the side with our burger, okay? So and we always start from the bottom. Always start from the bottom and then work your way to the top. So first one, every means that, what note is that? It's an E. Now, every good, G for good. Burger. So what's burger? B. Every good burger deserves, D. I don't know if any of you guys have pets at home, but I have 2 cats and they're making lots of little meows right now. And our top one, every good burger deserves what? French fries, F. Now, these are all of our line notes, but what about our space notes? So what I want you to do right now is go ahead and fill in 4 space notes. It's 1 note on every space. Now, our space notes are like little astronauts because they're floating in space. Now, space is easy to remember because it rhymes with a word that spells out these notes. Space rhymes with face. So, how do you spell face? F-A-C-E. And as always, we start at the bottom, right? And then we move our way up. So, go ahead and spell face for me. Starting from the bottom, F is the first one. A-C-E. Now, this is a really useful tool because if you ever get stuck, if you're reading some music and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't learned that note or I don't remember what it is, you can go through and here's your first step. Say, is that note a line or is it a space? And then that's how you'll first identify it. So if it's a line note, you're gonna simply go to your lines. You guys hear my cat? If it's a line note, you're gonna go through the lines and you're gonna say, okay, is it the first one? Then it's every. Second one, good. Third one, burger. Fourth, deserves. Fifth, fries. Secondly, if it's not a line note, it must be a space note. So go over to your space notes, spell out face, and figure out which one it is. Now, as flute players, we're gonna go a lot higher above our regular staff. Some instruments just kind of stay here, but we sometimes we'll have to add space notes on top. So here's another space note. So if we follow our scale, check this out. We alternate line, space, and we slowly make our whole way up. So E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. What comes after F in the alphabet? G. Now, then we alternate. We go up, add a fake line just for us flute players. What comes after G? We finish the musical alphabet. We start over. We have A. Then we add another space note and we go up to B. And that can just keep going up and up and up. Now, again, this is just a quick resource. I'm going to be sending you guys some links that you can use if you have a website or a phone at home to look at to practice this note reading too. But flute players, wonderful job. We'll see you again soon. Bye, guys.